Underground dialogue. We gon' tell the truth. We ain't scared like a lot of y'all. Matters who they are. Do we bow? No, not at all. Dropping bombs on this wicked world, so it gotta fall. Underground dialogue. We gon' tell the truth. We ain't scared like a lot of y'all. Matters who they are. Do we bow? No, not at all. Dropping bombs on this wicked world, so it gotta fall. From the industry to the Oval Office, we expose the darkest motives of them all and disclose what the protocol is. Thinking and moving logical, stopping every maneuver possible, and apologizing for truth is not optional. We gon' help you with what you go through, reshape and mold you, and sweep over them weak lies they told you. If you living with no clue, we gon' deprogram the old you, and you get
what
to
up,
keep
man?
your
It's
soul
your
too.
big brother K Reno.
It's your boy Key Stove.
Y'all are tuned in again to another episode of the Underground Dialogue Podcast, where the name speaks for itself. And tonight, we got an OG in the building. We got a veteran in the building. We got a homie in the building that been doing the music so long that somebody might call them School, and he think they saying Scoop. My brother been in the game for a while, man, and he's a hard worker, tireless worker, and a dedicated artist in this game that I've been seeing for decades now, man. My brother, Scoopastar, is in the building. What's up, family?
What's up, man? What's up, man? I'm glad y'all, appreciate y'all having me, man. I'm just glad to be here, man. This is a blessing.
Man, it's a blessing to have you here, man. We was talking off camera, and you just say, man, I'm just touching down. I'm fresh down. I didn't know that you say you just got home, that you just got home. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So what's been the whirlwind? What the whirlwind been like since hitting the ground a good month or so ago, as far as pulling you back into the music?
Oh yeah, see, so when I was down there, I learned a lot of different things about business and other things. So when I came home, I wasn't gonna focus solely on music. I was gonna focus more on getting my business straight, getting my life back together, and getting my businesses, in order and running good. And then, whatever the music do for me, it do for me. Because before I left, I had that Sony Red situation. So it discouraged me to get took down. And then it just, that crumble. So, when I first came home, I started getting feature calls and, just all different kind of stuff. So the game just said, nah, you ain't going nowhere. Bring your ass back here. Yeah. So, I had to, I just embraced it, it's in me.
The Sony, what is that? Elaborate on what you were saying. You had the
Sony Red. I had a deal with Sony
okay.
Red.
Yeah. Tell us about that
before I left.
What year? What year was that?
This was 2000, and I think I got it around 18, maybe.
Yeah.
And I was just, I was working. You know what I mean? And I was trying to get it together. Then COVID hit. So, once COVID hit, that kind of slowed a lot of things down. And right before or during that time is when they came for me. So once they came for me, I knew it was over. Like, you know what I mean? Because once they come, they coming. And, you done for, ain't too much fighting. But I didn't know that yet. I still didn't know that yet. I still thought I could fight them people. Yeah. And, it just...
So this the Feds?
Yeah. Feds.
So you had a record deal signed or just in the works?
Signed.
In the works. Man.
Yeah.
So all this is going on at the same time. Whatever was going on streetwise, you was 1 foot in and 1 foot in the business basically at the same time.
Actually, I had kind of backed up from the business, but the Feds had laid on me. It was like 3 years later. So I got set up 3 years before.
Oh yeah, they gonna build that case. Yeah, they gonna build it.
Yeah. But I was like one of the lowest on the totem pole. What my relative did was he called me and set me up. I didn't get caught with nothing. It was nothing. It was a phone call.
Like the Rick.
And yeah, now I got him straight though. Don't get me wrong. But it was the phone call that booked me. You know what I'm saying? Just that phone call. And they laid on me for 3 years. And since I paid my phone bill with my ATM card, my bank card, that booked me, that connected me to the phone. Because other than that, they didn't have no real connection on me. And, they laid on me for 3 years and they came and got me. But I was already done with the game. And even what I did for him wasn't even my forte. That wasn't even my MO.
So was that a situation where he was trying to make a situation light on himself?
That's exactly
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely what it was.
Man.
Yeah, that's definitely what it was. He was trying to make it light on himself. But, you know, I have no respect for that type of person. You know, to me, it's cowardly. Is to be a rat and to get caught up and not take, you know, you knew what you was doing when you got in the streets. Not to get caught up and not take your own lick and then bring other people down, and that cause a ripple effect on their families, their kids, their parents, everybody they taking care of, their businesses and everything, and just to hurt somebody. That's evil, bro.
Yeah.
That's terrible. Like that's goofy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
I never participated in that lifestyle, but I always had the mindset that if we did something together, we was all doing it, and I get caught, I got to eat that on my own.
right.
And you come in knowing that they're gonna always say, "Well, who was with you? Who was helping you? Or give me somebody, give me
Right.
somebody." So if it's a situation where somebody wasn't even with them, but they decide, well, I'm gonna throw somebody else's name in the mix to try to free myself, then yeah, I agree. That's messed up.
And that's exactly how it went. That's exactly how it went. You know, I dealt with them way before, you know, maybe, you know, months, years before. I dealt with them maybe 1 or 2 or 3 times, but and during this particular time, I hadn't dealt with him in so long, and he hit me like, "Yeah, man, my people, you know, I'm in your town, I'm in your city. My people ain't, you know, answering the phone. Man, I need you to get me right." I think I was doing a video shoot or something, and I was like, "All right, I got you. You know, you in my city, you my family. You know what I mean? People pleasing is what took me down."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, you know, I ain't gonna leave him stuck out." And I got him right, and 3 years later, that bagged me.
Man,
How long did that take you away from?
4 years.
Oh yeah.
man.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Well, thank God it wasn't no killer stretch to where you would still be in there looking at like a big chunk of your life being gone, and to be able to come out now. So the deal that you had with Sony, so that obviously they was kind of like, well, they know we
Yeah,
can
that
do
was
it
over
now.
with.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was over with.
Yeah.
That was over with.
Yeah.
You know?
And what led up to the deal? Because obviously, if you had a deal lined up, that means that was a lot of work you was putting in prior to that to even be on their radar.
Definitely. Actually, it was that Make Them Haters Mad song. It was just something about that Make Them Haters Mad song. And
Yeah.
somebody from Michigan had reached out to me. And, you know, he reached out to me on maybe Instagram. And he just reached out to me. You know, I started talking with him, and, you know, he was like, "Hey, you know, I got some hot people over here." It was Sony Red, not Sony, but it's Sony Red.
Affiliation, yeah.
Yeah. And he was like, "Man, I like what you're doing. You know, I see you've been, you know, doing a lot of working." And he said, "This one in particular, I think we can do something with this." I had Doughboy Sauce and Sancho Sauce on.
Mm-hmm.
And, just did the video. And once I dropped the video, you know, he came and hollered at me.
Okay, so because I guess I was confused. So Sony Red is a person.
No,
It's a label. Okay, but they affiliated with Sony.
Yeah, that.
Okay. I was getting confused. Okay, all right. That's what I
I
thought.
thought it was like Dirty Red.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He said he came and I was like, he came and how? I'm like, wait, so Sony Red a person or a subsidiary of the Sony label? Okay,
Yeah.
I got it. Okay,
He's
Yes,
a red
that's what I
nigga.
thought.
He's
Yeah.
a red nigga.
No, but that had to be a tough blow, when you know I ain't even really getting down like that, and now this is my opportunity to fully transition out of that, and this thing happen. This might sound like a throwed out question, but after the fact, once that happened to you, and do you look at that now to see any good that might have come out of that situation? Or sometimes you be
Prison?
like, man, I'm not being in prison, I'm just the whole experience of like,
definitely. You know, that was one of the best things that could have happened to me, going to prison, because, you know, now that it's over. Now, before, I didn't see the light.
Yeah, going in, yeah.
Definitely didn't see the light.
Yeah.
But going to prison made me a better me. It taught me a lot of the things that I needed to learn to be able to come home and sit on my throne and wear my crown properly. I renewed, rebuilt, and restored my mind, body, heart, soul, and spirit in there. I showed leadership in there. I went and I handled it, and I faced it 10 toes down and handled it. You know what I'm saying? And I had a lot of time to reflect, and I learned how to regulate my emotions. I used to be hot-headed and quick to, act off impulse and thinking irrationally, that type of stuff. I learned how to be smooth and calm and cool now, and not let things that I can't control affect me or how I'm feeling or what I think or the behaviors that come behind it. So being in prison actually matured me, and it made me just see life different and be able to learn humanity better. Being in prison, and being in prison is terrible. There's nothing good about it, but you be by yourself and you get to yourself. You see who actually cares about you, who actually is there for you. You reflect on the people that you took for granted while you was out, the things you took for granted, pillows and just certain foods and, beds and, just certain things you just took for granted when you was out. A shoestring, just a paper clip, the littlest things mean so much in there. So, cell phones and it's just, a lot of things. So, now I learned not to take things for granted, especially not people. One of my fathers passed, my stepfather passed, and then my biological passed right when I got out, but I didn't get to see neither one of them. You know what I'm saying? My grandmother passed. A lot of my partners passed. So you just don't think that you'll go to jail and not be able to see a person ever again in this lifetime. Right. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's going to jail really kind of it gave me a different mindset about life, and not just my inner self. I learned a lot of business. It was a lot of people that was in there that was high class people. A lot of multimillionaires, a lot of people that really got knowledge and common sense, and it ain't just goofies and criminals and crash outs in there.
Absolutely.
Now, you got some good people in there too. You know what I'm saying? And I used to sit down with them and I used to, okay, show me this. Okay, how did you do this? How did you start? Okay, what did you get? How did you get your first million? Oh, what did you have to go through? Okay, where did you get the money from? Did you use your money? No, we used other people's money. I learned that, yeah. So, I picked up a lot of games. So now that I came home, I got so many different things that I'm into and avenues, and not just that, my character was so good. They was hooking me up with people in the world to to mentor me when I come home, as well as when they get home, they was, putting me in positions and helping me to, navigate me through different kind of businesses and stuff. So, now I got a lot of stuff that I'm into. I'm just trying to put that right team together to, go full-fledged at it. Now I'm going at it, but I need to put that right. You can't do everything by yourself.
Absolutely not. And you just getting home, but and that's why I asked that question. That's what I really was trying to pull out, because if you have to do the time, once they slam the gavel and say this is what you got to do, whatever, then it turns into how do you utilize that time while you in there.
Right.
And so what do you think goes into the mindset of an individual that thinks the way you thought, to say, I'm going to use this time so I could benefit myself when I get out, compared to somebody who just in there and then end up.
Oh, now it's a lot of dudes in there that's just on K2. They're just on deuce all day, every day, real bad.
Yeah.
I'm selling shoes out their feet for it. Flapping water and toilet water, passing out, throwing up all day. Yeah, it's some people in there like that. Me, I chose to make money inside and pick up knowledge. I was on my phone different times, you know, I just knew how to watch which guards. And I knew how to see. A lot of people got caught on their phones because they, you know, they bucked the system. They want to talk. See me, I was a little smarter than that. I said, man, you know, I only talk when I need to, when I got somebody watching the door and then somebody watching the hallway. You know what I'm saying? So when I got 2 G's, yeah, I talk on my phone. It's cool, you know, during the daytime. At nighttime, once they lock that door, I'm texting. I got my headpiece in my ear. You know, I'm watching boxing. I'm watching, you know, I'm watching I call it going to the club. I'm going to the club. 9 o'clock every Friday, I'm going to the club.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be at the club from Friday 9 o'clock till Sunday at 8 o'clock. You know, until I give my phone to my, you know, my phone runner to go put it in a stash spot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, but I was on YouTubes and I was reaching out to my family and, you know, I was keeping in touch with people and I was, I was learning things in there still while I'm on the phone. I'm still learning about Bitcoins. I'm still learning about AGNC stocks and I'm still like, learning real estates and different little things while I was in there. So I chose to utilize my time exercising, making money. You know, I had a grill. So I was in there cooking food. You know, in the feds, people want to eat.
Right.
So I had a stove. I had exotic stuff in the stove. I was cooking food. You know, I was selling a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, you come ask me for it, I can get it. I got it.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I was making money, exercising, and you know, I got my GED in there too.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, I was just learning what I need to do when I come home and how to capitalize on, you know, I wanted to come home and master life. I'm tired of freestyling life. I want to come home and master life.
Ooh.
So I could, you know, I could get to where I needed to be, you know what I'm saying? And then I had my sobriety. So by being sober and not being on, you know, cats used to try to give me liquor, give me stuff. Bro, I'm cool, bro. I am in prison.
Yeah.
I mean, what it look like me in here getting drunk with you?
Man, it's amazing how they be having. They had just as much access inside to that type of stuff that they do out here in the free world. That's amazing.
Definitely. They had drone drops.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got drone drops. Drones come over and drop it in. Yeah, then, you know, it got to go through, somebody go run and pick it up. Then it go through somebody over here. Then they set it through the commissary truck. And then they go to the kitchen. And then, you know, they pass it to, then they come bring it to us. Yeah, it was just everything was strategic in prison. Like everything was, you know, it was a setup. Everything was set up right. It was strategic. And, you know, it's like that, you know, even with everything, even with, I don't know if this is giving up too much, but you know, you got certain kind of underwear you wear that you got stuff, you know, what do you call it? You got them tailored.
Gotcha.
And that's how you keep, you keep your weapons or your phone or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's just different.
Man.
You know what I mean? Just being in there, everything is strategic.
But you know what tripped me out too? Before I let Keystone jump in, everything you saying, it also points to how crazy this might sound. How ingenious we are.
Yeah.
Because these are the things that we have enough of an innovative mind to do out of necessity when we behind the walls. We figure out how to get free world luxuries in our own way behind the walls when we may not have utilized those type of skills when we was physically free.
When I went in there, I said, come on, man. Y'all lighting up cigarettes and K2 with 2 batteries and a piece of a Brillo pack. If you see the grill I had to cook on. Now, everybody couldn't have a grill because, you know, of course, you have to control the market and the money.
Yeah.
So only a few of us had grills. But if you see the grill I had, it was held on by toenail clippers and screws was the legs, and it was
MacGyver.
It was made out of like plates. Like it was like we had it was like a program where they was building police cars, and they'd take like the metal plates and get like the element from a dryer, and then that'd be what heated up. and you gotta, the way the plug is made, you can't plug it in before it's connected or you're gonna shock yourself. It was just crazy. And it worked. It just the things that I seen and the built-in stash spots and just everything. And it was just a lot of things that I was seeing people do. The way the tattoo guns and the ink, just everything.
Say, man,
Yeah,
we are freaking geniuses, man. We have to take those skill sets and implement that stuff on the outside so we don't have to go inside in the freaking first place, man. Wow, that's a look behind the walls for real, man. Yeah. You guys go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna ask you, man. I was listening when you was talking earlier about what took you to jail, about the people pleasing. Now that you got out, had you worked on the people pleasing?
Definitely. Definitely. First of all, I really don't trust people as far as my voice box carrier. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing.
Yeah.
And then, I know how to see it coming. I know how to look at it. I know how to see a high risk nigga or a high risk situation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, what am I even being around you for? Like, what is that gonna benefit me to even have you in my circumference? Like, I'm not even gonna play that kind of game no more. Like with certain kind of peoples, I'm not gonna have my phone up in your phone. I don't want to go where you at. I don't want to do what you do. I'm on my own type time. And as far as people pleasing, man, you just, you can't help everybody. And see, coming up, I had a few cats that I was around. And, they was on, you know what I'm saying? And I used to just, maybe go shopping or something and be like, Scoop, man, man, I bought you such and such this, we had a little, that's when we was hustling hard.
Yeah.
And, everybody was giving. It wasn't, nobody was selfish. So I came up like that under those kinds of people. So I always wanted to be that person, and everybody around me, I wanted to see them on. I don't want to be the only one pulling up to the club looking good in a nice whip. I don't want to be the only one buying bottles. I don't want to be the only one wearing jewelry or whatever it is I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to be the only one, so I wanted everybody around me to I wanted to help everybody to be able to have things. And I thought I was super mistaken, but I thought that by me putting people on, if I ever fell off, I could go, hey, I need 20, then give me 20 bands from him. I might get, 5 from you, maybe 50 from you, and I'll be right back up. Right. It don't work like that in life. The love is not reciprocated the same way. But, sometimes helping people, you only intensify that hate fire that they already have inside of them for you, that you don't see. They already wishing for your demise, but you don't even understand it. You don't even see that they're mad that you're helping them. Wow. That they hate the fact that you got it like that to help them.
And you helping them.
And you helping them.
Boy, that's some twisted. Boy, that's some intricately described. Hey, man, that's hard. Keep going, man.
So, and then you got the other kind of, you got the other situation where you helping somebody, but God is chastising them because, you don't know what they doing behind closed doors or what they got going on in their life. So where God said it's not for you right now, and you helping them, and you getting struck by their lightning. So you can't. You gotta watch that too.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna leave. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So and then you got the kind of help that hurts you. It just hurts you.
Yeah.
Hurts you to help somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
This dude is hitting home runs, bro. I'm about 3 in a row right now, man. He said you do the kind of help that hurts you.
Yeah.
Man, I'm sorry.
Yeah, why do I gotta hurt myself to help you?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's all people pleasing. It's sentimentality.
Man.
So I'm not, now I just know who to fuck with and how to fuck with who now.
Yeah.
I ain't doing all that trying to, if I can help you, if I really fuck with you and love you, I want to see you doing good. And I'm going to help you in the best way I can. But I'm not going to hurt myself helping you. And then it's the other help that turned into hate. That's another one. That's the last one. Help that turns into hate.
Yeah.
And, so it's just so many elements to that help and to that trying to put people on and look out for people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's not even including the backstabbing and betrayal. You know what I mean? That's another element to just helping, period. So, you know, that people pleasing will get you killed. That people pleasing will get you murdered.
Hey.
So, you know, you just gotta watch out. Have you ever noticed that how you could be the one to look out for somebody so much, but they don't. They have a low lack of respect for you, like a low respect for you. But they go big and up, and you know, running behind this dude that they never did nothing for.
Yeah, man.
And that comes on a female level too. Sometimes women do the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, you know, you do the most for them, and they'll go run to a stranger who ain't never did nothing for them. You know, you done did all kind of things. You might have bought bodies and houses, cars, and just did the most. And you know, yeah.
These days, 2025, man.
Oh yeah, we buying bodies.
Yeah, he's buying full-on bodies around us, man. You have 9 or 10 parts that you were not born with that are now on your anatomy.
Assembling that together. Yeah, we definitely.
Voltron.
Yeah, we definitely could put a woman together now. Yeah, we buying bodies now.
Man, but why do you think? What is the concept behind that type of psyche, that mentality, to where you do have people who seem to resent you more when they see that you are doing for? Is it a situation where they just users, or they take your kindness for weakness? Is it a trauma that's being projected in the wrong way? Because I would think that a stray dog, matter of fact, I know a stray dog recognizes, he gonna proceed with caution when he first comes to you, because he been in these streets and been but once a stray dog recognizes that you treating him right, that dog gonna have a loyalty to you. So what is it about people that makes them, some people that makes them go the opposite of that?
Okay, before I elaborate fully, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna tell a story. It was a snake that got hit by a car.
Oh no.
And the dude that was in the car got out, you know, picked up the snake, nurtured the snake back to health, took him to his house, fed him every day, gave him a nice place to stay, nice place to live, and the snake still turned around and did him.
Yeah.
So everything you just said is all elements of why people do what they do. And see, in life, you just have to understand certain types of people are just born different. You know, they just born with a different kind of mindset. And like you say, a lot of people are users. A lot of people only are parasites. They only latch on to you to get what you can get. You know what I'm saying? So,
man. Yeah, I'm upset.
So it's more. That's a real high ratio of parasitism in the world that just latch on to people to try to get what they can get out of them. Or you got the light grabbers. They see you got your light shining bright, and they light is so dim, and they just try to jump in your light and try to grab your
get the energy.
Hey, what is it called? Photobombing. Yeah, they photobombing.
Man.
Yeah. So you got to watch out for the photobombers too. And when you somebody that God created with a certain type of aura, and you got a certain type of charisma about yourself that can never be taken away, because in life, a king under a bridge. With nothing under a bridge is still a king.
That's right.
But a clown sitting on a throne with money flashing is still a clown. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're a king, you don't have to necessarily have a lot of things all the time. It's just your aura that you walk with and you carry with you every day is gonna attract people to you, and it's gonna be a lot of fake. It's gonna be a lot of fake in that attraction. So you just gotta know how to sort through it until you find the real. Because nowadays, fake is the new real.
Come on.
Yeah, I see it.
There is no old laws and new laws. People now are living by no laws.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? So those are the types of things that I choose not to be a part of. I don't. I let people be who they are, do what you do, to each his own. If I can help you, or if I can try to guide you or tell you that ain't it, I'm gonna let you know that ain't it. But if you keep on proceeding to do what you want to do, how you want to do it, Yeah, I'm gonna move out your way.
I gotta take my hands off you, yeah.
And I'm gonna get far away from you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I don't want that lightning to strike me. I'm tired of getting struck by other people's lightning.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no question.
Yeah.
Self-preservation, you know, that's how self-preservation is the first law. So you gotta make sure they say, okay, when the pressure drops, when your oxygen mask, you put your own mask on first before you can put somebody else's on.
Right.
How do you navigate as far as the dynamic of going through those situations with people that burned you, that you really looked out for? You have a lot of people that will go through that and then they'll be like, man, I ain't helping nobody else no more. How do you get to where you still have the heart and spirit to not neglect those who still need it?
I was born with it.
Yeah.
You know, you born with the elements that you possess on the inside and your character. You know, of course, you know, as you grow, your demographics, your core beliefs and all that add to your character.
Yeah, they shaped. Yeah.
Yeah, it shapes your character, but you still born a certain type of way.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's in you. Just like people, just like me, I was born not, you know, I was born with something inside of me that doesn't like to talk to police.
Yeah.
I can't not tell. Like I used to didn't like, I had a little move I used to do. When I used to be at a chow hall, you know, we getting the drinks right here, right? We walked out of here, get our food. Now the police is all right here on the wall. I had a little spin move. I spin off in their faces, spin off and go this way.
Dream shaking the laws.
Yeah, so even in court, even just with everything, I only want to talk to my lawyer because that court was the most scariest feeling I've ever had is being in that. I'd have been in shootouts, I'd have been shot at and so many things. But being in that court, looking at that Judge Judy with that big old picture behind her and hearing hearing all the football numbers they're giving people, that was like one of the scariest moments in my life. You know what I'm saying?
And they do it legally.
Yeah. I used to tell people, man, I'd rather be in a shootout, man, than go back to that court, man.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, because in a shootout, you halfway in control of your own destiny in a shootout.
Right.
In that courtroom, you gotta wait and see what they decide to do to you.
Yeah, but you know, just as far as just dealing with people though, and you know, just trying to navigate through those types of situations, you know, I just know how to read people. You know what I'm saying? And that, you know, somebody told me this, my brother told me this, Belly on Boss told me one day I was kind of going through something and he was like, man, Scoop, remember this, it's in you. Never let a whole ass nigga turn you into a whole ass nigga. And I said, damn, you know what? And that's what I'm gonna take that to the grave with me. You know, don't let one person change how you treat people that God might have sent you that might be meant for your life. And you letting one person or many, not one, but several, but you letting them, you know, like form who you gonna be, form who you are. And you letting them, you know, form the person that you are.
You letting them be an influence on you rather than the opposite.
I was looking for a word.
Because what happens is it's like you know, however they made you feel, you didn't like that feeling. So you should automatically have your mind where I'm not gonna be that. Like, and the example I use a lot is when you have brothers and sisters who may not have grew up with a father around, right? So they might say, well, man, my daddy was this, he was a deadbeat, or whatever label you put on him. Use that as the motivation to not be that for your children.
Right.
Instead of just saying, well, man, my daddy was like that. My mama beat the hell out of me. I'm gonna beat the hell out of my. If you didn't like how it felt with you, then why would you not do a 180 and then be the opposite of that, so your children or whoever you around don't have to feel what you had to feel.
Exactly.
But some people have it in their mind like, oh, I'm gonna impose this on people. Y'all gonna feel what I felt. You know, they're gonna make you feel it too, you know.
And some people got the situation to where your actual gift might be an energy person or a giver. But then you let somebody that's a taker take that away from your identity. Right. Now you ain't even the person that
Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Because you know, in life there's givers, takers, and receivers.
Yeah.
And usually givers are not takers. You know what I'm saying? And takers are not givers. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I was just born a giver. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But don't get me wrong. I receive from people that God, the people that God sent for me to receive from.
Right.
It usually
blessings.
Blessings.
Yeah.
And it usually does not come from people who you give to.
Yeah.
It comes from other people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or other ways, or just other things. You know what I'm saying? So
man, you know what's crazy? I was watching this interview with you. You was at a gas station. It had to be maybe 2000 maybe, because you had a dirty South.
I hate that. I hate that.
But even back then, you was just basically saying, look, I'm over here trying to get this shit going, but we over here with Lil Troy, we got this, we got that. Yeah. And you plug in almost everybody that's around you at the same time, saying, man, it might be tough on me, but look, watch out for me, because we doing this, we doing that. So even back then, I see those giving traits in you.
Yeah, right. Appreciate it.
But you know, too, also, the key is when you do have the heart to give for whatever reason, give without expectation of a return.
Yeah, definitely.
Never give with the thought of what am I going to get back. The only time your mind should be focused on that is you doing business and investment. But as far as people, don't ever give with an expectation, because, hey man, if you was giving it really from the heart, you're not even thinking on those grounds. So yeah.
Now this is what I used to struggle with before I got locked up. I used to struggle with the fact that how could you fix your mind or your mindset to not look out for somebody? At the lowest, I might just want a black and mild, but I done gave you over 20 bands just on nothing.
Right.
And I'm just trying to wrap my mindset on help me understand your level of thinking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I just, I grasp a hold to people don't reciprocate the same.
And
everybody don't think the same.
And the person who has the heart and just the common sense, you can't fathom how somebody don't have the heart and the common sense, because you factoring in how easy it was for you to do for them, and how hard it was for them to do the littlest thing for you. And so we can't process that. It's like, this don't even make sense. Like you say, I asked you to buy me the chicken basket or something like that. But like you said, I gave you 5,000 2 years ago, but it just the mindset, a lot.
And I had to learn that. I had to learn you have to let people be who they are. You cannot change people. And everybody was born different. Everybody thinks different. So just because you'll do this, when you get some money, it don't mean that, they can get $1 billion and look at you, living under a bridge.
And people raised differently too. Like, you raised up in a cutthroat household, family never had that dynamic of love and giving. Then you go out to the world on your own, then naturally you kind of carry that because that's all you knew. So in some regards, it's not even their fault.
Right.
But in other regards, it is, because you still know better as a man or as a woman,
Right.
So it's so detailed, man. Let's get. Go ahead. I was go ahead.
I had one incident where I actually realized that it's kind of foolish trying to understand the ways of a fool.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? Because you it don't make sense to you, but it makes complete sense to them.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. I don't even talk to fools because I feel foolish.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk on the phone. Even when I came home, it was like a few conversations I tried to have with people who I just tried to, I just tried to mend a relationship. Not so much mend it, but I tried to come home and deal with certain people that I told myself was high risk situations that I didn't want to deal with.
Yeah.
And I tried it, and it just had me feeling so foolish. And, I was just sitting there, they had the conversation levels, their wordplay, I don't want to, say it, I don't want to downplay it too cold, but yeah, I just didn't have that.
When a person is experiencing growth, so now a lot of the things that you was on, you're not on that no more, and you start to transform and grow, and people that you've known all your life and known for years, you see them still in those same spots, same mind frames. That's where that comes from. You thinking like, man, I ain't talked to the dude in 4 years, and he's still talking the same way he was talking 4 years ago now, or when we was younger than that. So I've transcended past that. It's time to leave that. It's time to leave them to that. Pray for that person and hope that he or she will elevate.
Yeah, you know, with elevation comes separation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you know, that's a given. You know, I just can't. You know, a lot of people are stuck on pause.
Yeah.
And you know, I've been gone, and I come home, and like you say, they still stagnant. You know, you stuck on pause. You know, it ain't much I can do trying to get myself back together. And then you know, burdening me and like pulling my shirt down while I'm running. I'm trying to win the race, but you yanking on my shirt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm rowing the boat. And you poking holes in it.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
One thing I learned from what you're saying, I'm picking up these words that you can actually, these are words that I see a lot of stock people use. You know, this is a high risk situation.
Yeah.
You categorize the situations and relationships and saying, okay, this is not that high risk, this is high risk. So you already putting stuff in order. Man, if I was you, the next thing I do is start looking at stocks, because that's exactly the same way how they look at stocks and stuff.
I am. I'm dealing with that. I'm trying to digital marketing too.
Yeah.
Yeah. AGNC stocks is good though on auto drip. Yeah. So I'm dealing with that. But you know, that stocks and Bitcoins, it's after I get, you know, my other businesses all the way situated.
Yeah.
That's something like, that's like a food truck. That's something like I do afterwards.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Like after I got all my credit stuff, you know, down packed, my real estate stuff, Airbnb stuff, you know, and car dealership stuff. You know, after I get all that wrapped up, you know what I mean, and get all that going where it's supposed to go, you know what I'm saying? Then that's when the other
the vision is there.
Stuff.
The vision is already there.
Definitely.
When you say that and you already able to categorize what's high risk, what's low risk, and then you see that in people, it's the same thing. It's like you see it in people like, okay, this stock is this and that third. Yeah, that's low risk. Or that's high risk. We ain't fucking with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I was just getting from this whole conversation. What gets to this point is how people should never have to make excuses about their levels of success or lack of success. And what I mean by that is that you can have an individual who's been locked up for a number of years, but they use that time to elevate themselves or set themselves up for when they get out. And an individual can actually come out in a better place than when they went in. Then you have people who have never went in, but they still in that dead state in their mind. So it's not necessarily about where you are physically, it's about where you are and you're trying to grow in your mind. Because a bunch of free people still, it's some free fools out here, you know?
Definitely. And you know, sometimes the worst place is the best place for you. You know, before I was leaving, you know, my mama, you know, she just used to say, God ain't gonna put you nowhere where you don't want you. So, you know, it just didn't resonate at first. I'm like, man, what are you saying, Mama? I'm finna go to the field. You know, I ain't never been to jail a day in my life, and I'm finna go.
You say God ain't put me here, my homeboy put me here.
Yeah, this nigga, my relative put me here. Yeah, but you know, and sometimes the hardest soldiers, you know, strong soldiers get the hardest battles, and it takes us sometimes things like that. That's hardships like that and adversities like that to shape our characters and make us be able to reach the heights that he has in store for us. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You know, a lot of people glorify the shoot 'em up, bang bang. You know, okay, yeah. You know, I was a part of that. You know, it's cool. You know, I zero tolerance to disrespect. You know, but I just know how to handle it a different way. And if I can avoid it, I will avoid it so I don't have to be back where I just came from.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you know, definitely though will not allow disrespect, but you know, it's just a way to carry yourself, it's a way to do things. And sometimes, you know, just going in there, before I went in there, I was a live wire too. You know, I acted off impulse. I didn't know how to regulate my emotions. You know what I'm saying? I can get mad off something somebody say on the internet, you know what I'm saying? Or something goofy, you know what I mean? Somebody said in a phone call or a text message and just get to going, you know, what's up there? Come on, let's be, pick a spot and, get the straps and, that was ignorant. That was foolish. You know what I'm saying? Because I was ready to crash on my family. Yeah. I was ready. So I didn't even think about my family when I was just finna crash. Now, of course, I'm not going to accept disrespect, but I'm going to try to talk it. I'm going to try to be like, hey, bro, look, that ain't what you want. I ain't on that. I'm going to go over here. You know what I'm saying? Let you do your thing. Now, and I know how to walk away now. Yeah. Now, if you don't let me,
if you follow me,
then you know what it's gonna result to. It's gonna go there. You know what I'm saying?
A warrior prays for peace first. Right. That's first thing. A real warrior don't want it.
Right.
Because not because he really fearful of the situation, is that they know that the situation, if it gets to that point, it's not gonna be beneficial to nobody. But also in some situations, you know what you would do.
Yeah, I fear myself.
It's like I don't want this side of me to be revealed to you, because you might not even be built for what I'm gonna bring to you.
Exactly.
You think you are, but so that's where wisdom comes in, because not, like you said, not being able to regulate your emotions, not being able to separate or pick to choose the right battles. Still a growth process. You had to grow into that. Some people never reach that point, and those, unfortunately, are the brothers that we lose in their 20s, and even some of the older dudes who go to the pen for the rest of their life, still acting like that in there.
There is no way that I would be in the club and crash out over somebody stepping on my shoe.
Come on, man.
Look, see, it's your thought process. Yeah. And your self-thought's gonna be like, man, he just stepped on my shoes, he drunk. He must think I'm a hoe or something. Yeah. That's what the first initial thought is. Yeah. But you gotta just take that thought and turn it into a positive. Yeah. Man, dude probably just came home like me. He might have just had a newborn baby or something. He drunk and feeling himself, man. Dude stepped on my shoes. You know what? I'm gonna get our dude away. Yeah. And I'm gonna go to this other side of this club, man, where these nice little women at. Yeah. And I'm gonna get away from him, let him do his thing and enjoy his freedom or his newborn baby or whatever he got going. And you just change that negative thinking positive, and that's how you keep yourself out of conflict.
Come on,
you
man.
know what I'm saying?
And not in the whole entire world, every element that you come across is not a proven ground. I ain't got to always prove that, like you say, I ain't no punk. I ain't scared of that. I ain't got to walk through HEB just waiting for somebody to say, look at me crazy. Everything ain't a proving ground, bro.
I'm not proving I don't see myself to other people's eyes.
Yeah.
I'm not proving myself to nobody. Because when it's time to do that time, I'm gonna do that time alone.
By yourself.
Yeah. When it's time to watch out for them knives and them pokers, there.
Come on, man.
Yeah, you got to do that by yourself. Yeah. So I'm not. I don't have no point to prove to nobody, but I am me. And in the Bible it says, "Thou shalt not let nobody mark your temple." You will not touch me.
Come on.
You will not, because if I do let you, then I'm disobeying what God says not to let you.
Come on, man.
So you're not gonna touch me, or we not gonna have no issues like that without it being some repercussions. Yeah. But I'm gonna try my best to avoid it before the touching or before anything gets to that.
Absolutely. And that's the key. See, retaliation is a law of God.
Right.
And you never be the aggressor, but you fight with those who fight with you. You are a fool if you say, well, I'm going to put it to you like this. Let me say this for the listening audience, so I won't offend nobody who may have this mindset. I've never been a believer in turn the other cheek. I've never been a believer of that. I've never been maybe when I was young and didn't know no better, but in my adult life, I've never been a person who subscribes to the term "love your enemies." I don't, because that's a contradiction to me. If I loved you, I can't even consider you to be an enemy. So the fact of the matter is, like, I'm not gonna ever start it with you, but I got one life. I have a right to defend myself regardless of who it's against. So if you initiate the conflict with me, I got every right to defend my one life.
There you go.
And so a lot of mistake that we make is we get caught up in this the slave doctrine that teaches us to let people hug you and do you any kind of way because they want to keep control over you. No, you're not going to be able to touch me and then think that I'm just going, okay. Bless you, brother. may the Lord be with you. No, may the Lord be with you. But it ain't for the reasons that you thinking.
Right.
Yeah. So.
And when you do put yourself out there and allow things to happen, then you allow others to feel like they can do it.
Yes,
and then the next person do it.
Yes, sir.
Then they taking your food. And then they taking your jewelry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They pulling you up out your cars. And you know, everywhere you go, you're just getting played. You know what I'm saying? You have to make an example or make a statement.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? When it comes time for that. And then you have to crush your enemy totally when it comes time for that too.
Man, I like this dude, man.
Well,
let's get into some music, man, because if people ain't know better, they be like, man, this dude must be just a life advocate.
Yeah, this
dude, yeah. So, man, we know you as Scoopastar, the artist, man. What was like your origins in the game, and who were some of the people that when you first heard these people, like, man, that's what I want to do. I want to get into this rap.
I'm gonna be honest. I never really just wanted to be a rapper like that. I'm from Alameda Plaza, and I grew up with Big Mello. So Big Mello was on the rap a lot at the time. And I just used to be around the neighborhood. I was young, I was bad. I was ahead of my time. I was hanging with the older cats. And Mello was doing good. He was with Scarface, and they, had to bring me to the video shoots, the Swisher Roll Tight and all that. And I just used to freestyle, smoking at an early age, just freestyling. And Mello said, man, I'm gonna put you on a song. Matter of fact, we're gonna make a group. Bone Hard Niggas. And he took me over there with Crazy C, man. And I did the, Bone Hard Niggas. Then unfortunately, R.I.P. Mello passed. Then after that, it was just a screwed up clique. I was just I was one of the ones that got in the gates, with Screw, opened the gates at 8 o'clock. I was one of the ones who got in there and, he opened the gates for me. I was one of the ones who could walk through there, go shoot pool in the back. I met everybody. All the screwed up clique, we all met. Well, I met most of them at Screw House.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I was just, I wasn't even thinking about really rapping. I was just rapping and freestyling on tapes, just rapping on Screw tapes. And then, R.I.P. Screw, Screw had us all united. It was a beautiful movement. Life was fun. The city was turned up. It was peace. And that's what I can say about the whole SUC movement when Screw was alive. It was more peaceful. You still had the South Side, North Side, slab little beefs and stuff like that. But for the majority of people in the South, it wasn't too much beefing with hood for hood in the South because you're gonna see the bosses, we're gonna all be a Screw House. You know what I'm saying? So they're like, man, you was beefing with man, that's my peoples, man. Hey, man, y'all gotta squash that. And it was, so it was more peace and everybody coming together and more love. But after the Screw, after the SUC movement, after Screw passed, I started rapping with Lil Troy. I was supposed to be on the one to be a baller, but I was in the streets. I was hustling too hard. So when Youngster and all them was calling me from the studio, Tulo and all them calling me, Troy, Grimm and all them, I didn't think nothing of it. And I messed out. Yeah, that was one of the worst mistakes I could have made.
Man, what was you thinking when the song came out, man? When the song popped off, I gotta ask this question, Scoop. Like, so when the song came out and you seen how it was taken off, what went through your mind, man?
I said, man, just to make $1,800, man, I missed that on a whole lot more. But that day I was just hustling hard. Now I did get on the album. Now I got on Thug Niggas.
Right.
That next day I said, they was like, man, we closing the album. You come today or we closing it.
Yeah.
So, I went the next day and then got on Thug Niggas with Tulo. And I ended up, it was crazy how it happened. See, rapping just happened. I was always around it and around everybody and freestyling on Screw tapes and, around Mello. And, I did a song, but I never still took it serious until I did that song with Lil Troy. I still wasn't taking it serious. And, he called us to the hotel and he had like contract, like a non-exclusive contract just to do a song. and it had money on that joint. And I said, oh yeah, oh yeah, a couple bands.
Yeah.
So yeah, I said, okay, it just not signing until they just signing to get these bands for this one song. And then I get royalties off of it too. Oh yeah, that's cool. Okay. So I signed that. Shoot, like 2 months later, we was on tour around the United States. Some said, okay, damn. And I'm getting show money. I had only had hustle money before then. I had never seen a different type of money from hustle money. I'd never had a job, none of that. So I'd never seen a different type of money besides hustle money at that time. And I'm getting money for. I was calling it free money, but we're working for it. But I'm calling it free money. Yeah. We having fun. We on the road. We on the road with MJG and 8 Ball. I mean, the tour had UGK, MJG, and 8 Ball. Master P was on some of the shows. We had Trick Daddy and Trina was on the tour. Petey Pablo was on the tour. Lil John and the East Side Boys, and we was the headliner. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So I was seeing Eminem. Eminem was doing shows with us, and you know, it was fun. And it was cool. And I was like, yo, okay, this is what I want to do. Mm-hmm. But it was like, let me tell you what really happened right before that happened. Right before that happened, I was at my bro. He was with Money Black. And I was in the streets, you know, I had on street clothes, and I took him to go to his video shoot. And I had just made maybe about $2,500. You know, back then it was something, but you know, now that's candy bar. So
it's something now though. Yeah. Might give you 25 right now. You be like, okay, thank you.
Yeah. But so boom. So I go to the, you know, I drop him off at the video shoot, but I was stuck. I couldn't drive off. My phone going off. This is on the north side. People wanted me to try to, you know, get right on the south. But I was stuck. I'm like, damn, that look good. Damn, that look cool. You know, I was always around the music, but just to see him like really in it, and the video shoots and the you know the models and the, you know, just to see and all that, it's just something that's had me stuck for a second, right? Mm-hmm. And then boom, I drove off, and when I drove off, that whole 24 something, that whole 2,400. I lost it the next day. And it just like, I lost it. I don't know how I lost it.
Yeah, I was about to ask, you misplaced it or yeah.
I never found it.
Right.
But I asked God, I said, God, you know, just hustling is just cool, but what is for me? Mm-hmm. And then that's when the Troy situation happened.
Man.
So I never, ever thought I was gonna be a rapper. I don't think I'm the best rapper, none of that. Like I just got in it and got in the game. And the game been good to me. So after the little Troy, you know, the tours with Troy, I just seen how he did things, and I started making the money, and then I started getting nice royalty check, you know, stuff like that. So then I said, you know what, if he could do it, I could do it. I could start a group. And I could do I could do the same thing. But before I did that, you know, Troy had to take a hiatus, and he had to go sit down. Yeah. And then that's when, you know, I got with Flip and Hump them over there, Sucker Free. Yeah. So, you know, I did the Sucker Free thing, you know, I did the Sucker Free thing. And I don't know what happened, but I kind of had fell back a little bit from the music. I had to go through my little situation. I had caught a case on tour with Troy, and I was going through my little situation too by that time. And I kind of just, you know, fell back from the music. And then that's when I put together my own group, you know, TMF, Thug Mafia Family. You know, me, Tulo, you know, it was a bunch of us. But I put together the you know, me and Tulo, you know, came up with the TMF, Thug Mafia Family. And I started paying for videos, and I started being the CEO, and I started, you know, getting things done and start working and start seeing it gets costly, but you know, it pays off. And then in doing that, I hooked back up with Lil Flip, you know, and we was, you know, that's when, you know, Flip was doing his, you know, his own thing, you know, with the Clover G's or whatever. And then we did a few worldwide tours, you know, like the Switzerlands and like the Amsterdams and the Cologne, Germany, Stuttgart, Germany, Monterrey, Mexico's, and, you know, stuff like that. And, you know, I did that. I think I was rocking with Flip for at least least 2 decades, at least a decade and a half, at least a decade. And then, it was cool, it was cool, but, sometimes, a person has to, kind of back up from certain situations that it don't necessarily be nothing egregious or, nothing, but sometimes you just got to back up from certain situations because they don't mean as well for you as you need them to mean for you. So you got to you got to go do your own, go take care of your own vision. You know what I'm saying? And you got to go do your own thing. So, I did that, and I hooked up with Gutter, and, me and Gutter, did some, some touring and, did some Canada, stuff like that. And then, it's just been ongoing. Been ongoing. Then the sauce, you know what I'm saying, with Doughboy and, Sancho, and just, I just been ongoing. So I've been around a lot of major key players in the Houston music scene. And I just, I'm still going. You know what I mean?
How many projects have you released? Just if you mixtape with
nowhere near.
Well, my deal is because when people say that, I'm like, man, your journey is your journey. So if somebody tell me, hey man, I got 10 albums, and if they compare it to my catalog just on the surface, I say, okay, well, it's not as much, but that's a lot of work. 10 albums.
Yeah,
that's a lot. You got a lot of people who've been in the business forever that haven't put out that much material, even 5 or 6. Yes. So I never look at it or take it for granted like somebody, man, I got 8 projects. I've been doing it 20 years, but I got 8. Man, that's 8 projects. That's a lot. It's a lot of work.
Now, see, in the beginning, I'm gonna be honest. In the beginning, I was more so doing things with other people on their platform.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I realized that I can do the same thing that they're doing. And it's not like they put their pants on one leg at a time.
That's right.
So I could do the same thing they doing, and I'm making money too. Right. So I could take my own money and do what they doing, but it took me a while to realize that. And when I realized that, that's when I started doing it. But I started doing it on a scale to whereas I was playing CEO over other people too.
Yeah.
So that kind of took away from some of my finances as well.
What do you like the most? It was besides having to actually cover the cost and the overhead of being a CEO, take away the money side, the roles of being that boss or being that rapper. Which one do you prefer?
The boss. I could never be just a rapper for nobody or just a rapper. Even in the corporate world, I've never had a job because I wasn't born to work for nobody and work all them years of my life just for them to take my bread and then tell me the last few little inches of my life, you're going to give me some of it back. And you want to put me in that same little system, in that same cycle? No, show me how to be an employer.
Yeah.
And show me how to do payroll. Show me how to get a business loan.
Yeah.
Show me how to get my credit right, so I could be the one to buy a business. Don't make me be a worker. Yeah. I don't want to be a worker. I'm not an ant. I don't want to just
put you on
don't
hamster wheel. Put you on a hamster wheel.
I can't be that. So I've never wanted to be that person.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to be. I was born a leader. Yeah. My middle name means leader.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I've always, that boss position is always the position.
Yeah.
Now don't get me wrong. I have been led before and I have learned from leaders because you have to learn. That's just like Malcolm X. You have to learn from Elijah Muhammad in order to be who he is.
Exactly.
You do have to sometimes, follow a leader in order to know how to lead.
Yeah, a good leader. Yeah.
Yes,
people put this negative connotation on the word follower No, only if you following foolishness, then you a dumb follower. But if you following good leadership, that's something to be proud of. Because a good leader gonna turn you into one.
Definitely.
He don't want to hold you underfoot. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, the boss position. That's definitely a position that I always take. But you know, you just gotta know who to deal with and who to spend money on, and who you gotta know when to understand what money is supposed to be spent. You know, somebody can't just come say, "Hey, man, I need 10 mans for some 4Gs."
Right. You're like, oh, you do? Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Yeah. What is that contributing to what we doing right now?
Right.
Let's do what we need to do to get this money and then make this money, and then you buy whatever you want with your part of your money.
Exactly.
But just draining me dry. What you gonna do? Drain me dry till we can't do no music no more.
Pretty much.
Then how that look?
And then they gonna blame you when it all fall through. Like, man, I got messed over, man. The label messed me over. Yeah.
Or they gonna be good in their pockets. No, it's the thing is this. When I lost by myself. But the people that I had around me all won. They didn't lose. They was good. But when I took them L's one deep. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. So, you know, in every situation now, I look at those types of things. You know, so it makes me not even proceed forward or proceed with caution. When it comes to that kind of a situation ahead, like dealing with him, that's real high risk. I already see it. You know, I don't even want to even chance that. I don't even want to even test that, because you know, you have to really show your worth to know. You have to really, really do something to make me see that characteristic in you, that you're worth even giving that a shot now. Because I done lost so many, I'm talking about so many zeros. It's so many zeros. I feel like a fool if I spit that number out. You know what I'm saying? So much money helping people, or doing things for people, and it just, when it comes to a time when you need, it was really when I got to prison, and I seen how I don't care how much money you go to prison with. If you leave somebody your money in the free world, it is not your money. It is not your money. And this is something that, we have to understand, that when a person gets a lump sum of money that they're not used to having, or they don't understand it, they're probably going to change, and they're probably going to spend it on, what they enjoy spending it on. And, it's that's another story. So, but in prison, you are at your lowest. No matter how strong you're getting with God, no matter how strong you're getting with your mind, body, and spirit, your exercise and all that, you're stronger mentally. You might be stronger emotionally. But when it comes to financially, you're at your lowest. Unless, if I'd have knew better, I'd have had all of my stuff in order with, my cash app, my bank accounts. See, they told me that, the Fed's gonna take all your money. So I'm cleaning out bank accounts, and I'm getting shoebox money. I'm trying to hide everything, and by the time it's come time for me to go, I'm like, okay, here. You know what I'm saying? Because they told me, but they couldn't take my money because of that Sony situation, because of certain things that I had going on. They can't just take my money. Now they took other people's money, that had conspiracies and drug charges, but
you just didn't know at the time. Didn't know the law at the time, and you probably was in panic mode trying to hurry up and clean everything out.
Worst thing that you can do is panic. No, panic, definitely. Panic, you have to remain calm so you can think, so you don't think irrationally. So you always got to remain calm. The worst thing you could do is listen to what streets tell you about a situation like that. Every single thing the streets told me about the feds was all wrong. I went down there and everything. Oh yeah, conspiracy, it's only 10 years.
Yeah.
No less than 10 years. So I'm setting my mind to, okay, I'm finna get 10 years. Yeah. So I gotta set my mind to that. And I get down there, it's a 0 to 20, it's a 5 to 40, and then it's a 10 to life. You know what I'm saying? Luckily, I got the 0 to 21. Right. So it was just everything. You gotta, cause I got caught with an AK on bond. Right. So I got a detainer. So they was telling me, oh yeah, you gotta go to the state and go do your time in the state. Then you're gonna go to the feds. Now, true enough though, if I would have caught that case before the feds and signed for that state time first, then I would have had to go do that state time, and then the feds would have started my sentence after that.
Right.
So that would have booked me. But since I didn't even deal with it until after I signed my fed time, so it just turned into like a warrant, a detainer. Yeah. So the feds couldn't add no extra nothing on my sentence or nothing because I didn't deal with it. Yeah. But yeah, I definitely caught a DWI and an AK case.
So what happened to the state time after you signed? You say you signed for the fed time first.
It ate it up. See, the state time. See, the state runs it concurrent with the fed.
Gotcha.
But it wasn't like that though either. I had to fight for that though.
Yeah.
It wasn't that. It wasn't that simple. Now I fought 7 months when I first got to Bastrop. I fought 7 months to get, because when I first get to Bastrop, I'm trying to take RDAP. I'm trying to get home as soon as possible. RDAP is the program where you get a year off your sentence.
Gotcha.
Right? So I'm trying to, as soon as I get to RDAP, as soon as I get to Bastrop, I want to get in the RDAP program. Yeah. You can't take a program with detainers. You can't take the RDAP program. So I started fighting. I fought my whole prison sentence.
Right.
I fought for my time. I fought for my time in the beginning. I fought for the detainers. I tried to get the 2-point reduction because I was on probation when I got locked up. So if you're on probation, they give you a 3 extra points. Mm-hmm. That enhances your sentence.
Yeah.
So they changed the law. And they said everybody that was on probation and got the 3 points, we taking 2 of them away. So you take 2 of them away, that's a year. Damn near a year and a half, you off your sentence. Right. So I fought for that. They denied me for that. They kept me longer than my date. I fought for that, but I won some shit. And the prison is getting closed down that I was at too. I fought so hard at the last one I was in. But anyway, I was fighting my detainers. I had to fight my detainers for 7 months. And I had to I had to write all this stuff up, but then, God sent me a lawyer in there. You know what I'm saying? The lawyer didn't even want to take my money. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But, of course, I ain't that. You know what I'm saying? So it was a lawyer that was locked up in there with us. And I used to write out, I'm talking about pages and pages and pages of everything and studying and all that. And then he knew what he was doing.
Right.
And, first I tried to get time served or get it get it time served or get it dismissed because I'm already serving time in the feds. So I was trying to get the violation of probation, the assault rifle, and the DWI dismissed. They wasn't responding to me. So boom, I'm steady sending them stuff. I'm asking for dispositions and all that. Finally, I just go to the assistant warden. She was super cool. Mm-hmm. Super cool. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she was super cool. And so she used to talk to me, and then my bro down there, Puny, he was the speaker. He is, the person that made me a speaker. Right. I went and, got in his cell when I first got down there, it was cool. And he was real cool with her. And I just pulled up on her one day and I was like, I got these detainers and I've been trying to get somebody to help me get these detainers. She said, you know what? She called somebody on her walkie-talkie. This after 7 months of me fighting hard. You feel me? She called somebody on her walkie-talkie. Did Johnson try to get in contact with you to get off his detainers? Why haven't you done that yet? What's the hold up?
Flex that muscle.
She said, I'll have them ready for him tomorrow.
Whoa, flex that muscle.
Signed the AID. It's called the International Agreement on Detainers. Signed the AID. All detainers got dismissed. Man. Then I got shipped out finally. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
But yeah, but I was fighting. I was fighting a lot. So, that's how I ended up getting that case dismissed.
Yeah.
Or what they was trying to do is make me do all of my fed time without getting any FSA time, any good time, anything, do all that time, and then in like 2030, go try me for the assault rifle, and then make me go do whatever the 2-3 years on that over there. I said, no, y'all not. Y'all not gonna do that.
What was your sentence for the fed time? What 80 months. Okay. So that breaks down divided by 12. What is that? 6 years. Okay, cool. So that's what they get. So you did all, how much of that did you do? You end up, okay, so all that work you put in.
Not even a whole force. Some of that was just on home confinement.
Yeah. So had you not done all the stuff you did, you'd have had to do that whole, wow. Yeah, man.
6 years, 8 months. Yeah, I did that that whole damn 7.
I think that's also to a testament of how a lot of people don't know the law, take time to know what they are able to do while they in there. So a lot of boys probably doing extra years they might not even had to do had they had the drive and the knowledge that you had.
Now that goes to my last fight.
Yeah.
Now my last fight, I was in a racist prison.
Yeah.
They sent me to do RDAP in Pensacola, Florida, where it's full of racism. You know what I'm saying? And like, you got to think, Pensacola, Florida is right there next to Alabama and Mississippi.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So you already know all the people down there is racist because of the civil rights movements was right there. So they still racist. That's embedded in them. So, you know, it's time for me to come home now. Now, so many people is complaining about this one case manager. She said that, oh, I'm not letting no black drug dealers go home and sell more drugs. And she had a thing about black men with gold teeth. Because it seems like she did us all, but I got done the worst. So now it's time for me to go home. I didn't do this RDAP program, right? Now, this is the worst, hardest thing that I think that's one of the hardest things I've ever done and had to deal with in my life.
That's something you got to tell on other people to
Yes, and it's real rats. Yeah. They will really tell. You know, you got cool people that are like, man, just, hey, look, I'm gonna tell that you ain't had your shirt tucked, and you tell that I shared food in the kitchen.
Yeah, a little lightweight stuff, yeah.
Lightweight. Now you got people that are really, oh, he has a phone. Oh, they have fakes. Oh, they this.
Okay, you gotta tell in order to graduate.
Oh man.
I ain't gonna say you definitely gotta tell.
They say that's how
but they definitely ain't said you gotta tell. But there was some people that we scammed through that program. I'm talking about, it's some people that's super official, and man, I get it, I get it. My hats off to them. That they would rather get in trouble.
Right.
And rather have to stay another 3 months or something like that.
Yeah, they ain't gonna violate them principles. Yeah,
it was some solid people in there. And see, my thing was always this, and everybody knows from, be careful. I ain't gonna do it, but be careful. Somebody gonna get you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I used to always keep people on game. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful. And my thing was, I had glasses. I had some Carters in there. I didn't see nothing because I didn't have my glasses on, and I had my headphones in. I didn't hear nothing. So you can't make me see nothing, and you can't make me hear nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, other than that, you know, somebody, you know, my boy Hill was, you know, he seen me struggling with pulling somebody up. You know, I just don't got it. I just don't know how to tell nobody. Yeah. I would rather somebody tell on me and me have to go up there and present my case and do it well. I went up there with no pen, no paper, no nothing, and just off the head, just, you know, hit them every time. So I would rather somebody to pull me up and do my thing like that and be good at answering for pull-ups. Yeah. But then too, I ain't gonna lie, I give it to a lot of the people there. They wasn't really pulling me up neither. They was catching me doing all kind of stuff. Yeah. And they wouldn't. I had a cell phone the whole time, and I know somebody somebody was then I know they had suspicions. Yeah. But nah, they wouldn't tell on me. I was so cool, and I don't tell on people. Oh no, I did tell on one person. I ain't gonna lie. I told on one person because I was finna beat him up. Yeah. Because he talked to me in the bathroom while I was using the urinal.
Oh man, yeah.
The thing, what he said was something that I
couldn't let it slide.
Nah, bro, listen, bro. Yeah. So lucky I can't beat you up and I'm finna go home. But what you just did and what you just, talking to me, the violation you just did, it had to be at this week. But when Pensacola was a camp. So by the time you had a camp, there's no weapons, there's no violence.
Relax.
It's some people fight, you know what I'm saying?
But that's the worst. That's the worst it's gonna get, huh?
Yeah. It's not going. Nobody's getting stabbed over there. Nobody's getting hit with locks. And well, nah, I'm lying. Somebody did get burnt and hit and head busted with an iron. Yeah. I'm lying. Things do happen, but it's not as prevalent as when I was in gangland.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So but it's really weak. It's real weak. It's a real weak prison.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like rats and it's like tattletales and like weasels. But it's a lot of millionaires though.
Yeah.
It's a lot of, big time high profile cases, DEA agents, crooked cops, you know what I'm saying? Like politicians.
Not blue, white collar.
White collar, lawyers, chiropractors, charities.
Yeah, scam artists and that.
Super scam, the biggest scam artists in the world.
Yeah.
And they got some of the biggest dope dealers in the world too. Planes and boats, and so it was a lot of people. But a lot of people. It was a different kind of environment. You know what I'm saying? So they don't get held accountable there for their actions.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was scary. That whole 18 months, I exercised almost every day, all day. I came home with my jaw sucked in and everything just to stay away from them people.
Nah.
But it's a lot of people that was cool. They really wouldn't tell it on me, but I just stay away from them just to keep them, keep that energy from them. But so that RDAP program was hell. And then the dude who ran the program, oh man, he was like one of the evilest. I've never seen evil like that before. He just wanted control of people. He was so evil and he was just so arrogant and so, he see over there.
Yeah.
When you're out custody finna go home, they feel like everybody want to go home, so ain't nobody really just try to do nothing, too fucked up. But now when you over at somewhere where it's gangland, them laws scared of getting beat up. Them laws scared of getting cut up. Them laws scared of getting poked. So they gonna treat you. So they gonna treat you with different kind of respect.
Yeah.
When you go over there to them camps, they know you trying to go home, so they gonna talk to you crazy, dangle that year over your head. Man, people was getting kicked out of the program. They dangling that year. Man, they damn near telling people to lick the floor and they doing.
Man.
Yeah, it was crazy over there. It was only a few of us that scammed our way through it. But it's some solid ones that did, that wouldn't tell for nothing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
I heard a program like back in the game where it used to call Safe P.
I think it's probably, some people say it's kind of similar, but ain't nothing like the RDAP program. It's like like you gotta work. It's like a prison boot camp school. You can get caught with a paperclip and get kicked out,
man,
and lose your whole year.
Anything that could be viewed as a weapon or something like that.
Violations.
Just some contraband.
You have a shoestring extra, and you have an extra pair of socks.
Yeah,
and they can kick you out.
Just the rule. You violated the rule.
You violated the rule. And this program is designed for you not to be a rule breaker ever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
man.
Yeah.
Y'all hear that? This should be this need to be one that all y'all sit down with your little sons and nephews and your daughters that's out here thinking they running the streets, want to be that, want to get influenced by what they hear on these records, what they see on these movies. This is it. This is a voice from the inside, intricately describing what it's like behind the walls from an individual who didn't just accept the fate, but they dealt with what they had to deal with and reformed themselves, figured it out, it came out better. Right? Say there's no way to come out better. No, that's on the individual, to come out better. So, man, give us any social media. Go ahead,
But I, talking to the youth now, I didn't tell y'all about me having to sleep on the bed that was getting rained on with mold out on the ceiling, with a broke AC, where the rug under the bed retained water. and you had to smell that mildew smell all night. And they had year-old food in the chow hall and, stuff like that. I didn't tell y'all about the big rat nest that they found in the chow hall and the big rat that ran down the pole in the chow hall right by my foot and made me not eat chow no more. I didn't tell y'all about the stabbings and about the people getting hit with locks and getting ran up top and the people on K2 that just lost their minds. And, see, I didn't elaborate on all that, you know what I'm saying? But prison is not where you want to be. It's not where you ever want to be.
Is this what you want? Is this what you want?
When y'all out there doing what y'all doing, y'all not thinking about them consequences. Now, for me to do something, the first thing I'm gonna think about is the consequences and trying to avoid that situation.
Yes, sir.
So I really want to avoid that situation so good that I want to be where they're never at.
Come on, man.
You know what I'm saying? I want to be overseas on a trip or something.
Come on, man.
I want to watch the bullshit happen on the news.
Right.
I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to entertain it. And most beefs start with friendships.
Yeah.
So you got to watch who you let close to you, because I watched that too, how a person that get close to you just to size you up and then start disrespecting you, and then a real envy and hate for you really comes out then. Yeah. And then it turns, truth be told, Young Boy and King Von was friends, used to be friends.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So just think about it. Most people are friends before enemies. Man. Sometimes, because an enemy can be an enemy from at a distance, but they go, most of the time they keep their distance until they know how to strike you or when to strike you.
Come on.
So when you let them too close in on you, and then they sense some kind of weakness or something in you.
They learn you. Like they study and learn. Yeah.
Yes, and then when you let them in that close, then that's when they get you. Yeah. So I try my best not to let those kind of entities around me, whether male or female, like even that comes even with women.
Yeah.
I got player vision. I can see from a distance on what she really owns. If I even want to if I even want to give her the entertainment of a conversation. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times in life you have to test people. Sometimes you might just be throwing something out there just to test them.
Yeah.
But if you don't test a person, everybody say they real until you in that firewood.
Come on, man.
Everybody say they not gonna rat until you in court.
Come on, man.
Everybody say they gonna shoot until them bullets start flying and they don't pop their gun.
Exactly.
Everybody say they gonna fight until it's a big riot and then you gotta fight.
Yeah.
Everybody say they not gonna mess with your wife until she answer the door in that lingerie and flew out of town. Everybody say they real until it's time to show it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So you just got to know. I don't even want to even chance it with some people. I don't even want to give benefits of the doubts if I don't feel it's worth it. If I don't feel it's deserved.
Yeah.
It has to be very deserving for me to even give a benefit of the doubt nowadays.
Well, this has been some real life curriculum, man. This is an education on just life and reality and principles, man. And we appreciate you so much, brother, for coming. No, for real, man. For sitting down, because this one was needed. We've never had an episode that delves deep into the belly of the beast like that. You know what I'm saying? To where it can be an educational tool or a precautionary tool for young people and older people, because this ain't about no just 13, 15, 17. This grown people need to hear this, who can find themselves in a position like that. Because I know people that waited till they was 35 to start going to prison. That they was 40 to start going.
Me too.
Yeah.
That my first time.
Yeah.
That was my first time at last.
So it's no time frame on that, but what can be done is the education to give people opportunity to think about the things that they might not have thought about before they heard you say these words. So give them your social media and let them know where they can find you at if you want to, let the people know.
Yeah, y'all can find me at on Instagram at Scoopastar _713. That's SCOOPASTAR _713. Y'all can my YouTube page, Thug Mafia Family, and the other YouTube page is Scoopastar Street Boss. TikToks and all that, I really don't, I'm trying to,
I ain't on it neither. Don't feel bad.
Yeah, I ain't really into that just yet. I'm gonna have somebody to run them for me.
Yeah.
Just for promotion, purposes. But right now, I ain't really on that. I really don't check that.
So don't feel bad.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yes.
Yeah.
Scoopastar. Last question. How did you get that name, Scoopastar?
When I was young, I used to run with the old cats, shout out to Waniac and, everybody in the plaza, and they used to, to make us hard. They would, every time they catch us, we could be just walking down the street. Bing, bing. Right? So I got smart. So I start scoop. I was solid, so I start scooping. And then I get on top of it. So they start calling me Little Scoopastar. Little Scoop. No, they start calling me Little Scoop. Then when I started rapping with Troy, they put that star behind it.
Man, that's dope, man. Scooping them bars up. Like, y'all ain't finna be binging me every time y'all see me, man. Yeah.
I'm fighting back. I'm picking them.
Man, come on, man. Well, we appreciate you again, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Hime Clock's own, man, my brother, the one and only Scoopastar, man, on the Underground Dialogue podcast where the name speaks for itself. It's your big brother, K. Reno.
It's your boy, Keystone.
We are
Big brother K. Reno. Look, man, the Underground Dialogue website is back in function. We back in motion, man. If y'all want Underground Dialogue podcast merch, whatever you need, go to undergrounddialogue.com and check us out. And always make sure that every Wednesday night, y'all are checking out the Underground Dialogue podcast right on YouTube, 9 p.m. Central Time. Yeah! What's up, man? It's your big brother, K. Reno. And check this out, man. The Underground Dialogue podcast is offering advertising opportunities, man. You can promote your business. You can promote your video, your song, whatever it is that you have, man. Reach out to us if you're interested in promoting on the Underground Dialogue podcast. All you got to do is email us at undergrounddialoguepodcast@gmail.com. Get it. What up, man? It's your big brother, K. Reno. I'm proud to announce that I'm a new brand ambassador to this new brand of clothing and shoes called Volas. Y'all make sure that y'all support this. It's already available. Houston-based company, straight out the A's. Look at the quality of the packaging itself. We ain't even got to the shoes yet, man. And this is just one pair of shoes, one design. They got all kinds of dope designs of shoes that you guys can choose from. Go to volas.biz and find your order, find what you want. Wide selection to choose from, male and female items, and I'm proud to be a part of it, man. Community workers, versatile products, Volas, manufactured in Italy. Look at the quality of this box, man. Y'all don't know what it is, man. Catch y'all later on.